Hi everyone, this is Sam from the Brick City team. Welcome to the first part of my Brick City playmap tutorial. With our PlaySquare update, you can now create multiplayer playmaps with their own rules and gameplay. But it's a little bit more complicated than other parts of the game, so I'm making this video series to walk you through the steps of making a new playmap from scratch. You can find the Playmap tool in the Creator Studio. Just go to the Playmap tab and tap Create on any of the empty cards. Here, you can make a new playmap from scratch, import one you've made before, or load one of the presets that come with the update. We'll make a new one so we can see how it's built from the beginning. First, you have to set the boundaries of your playmap. All playmaps take place in your city and players can see all your buildings, but only move around the area we select here. You can make it your whole city or just a small part. In this tutorial, we're gonna make a small multiplayer game. So let's just focus on the buildings I've set up here in the city. Now we're in the editor. The blue and yellow box is meant as a waiting area. Players can chat and pick teams before the actual game begins. And the big one over here is the main arena with some obstacles and a few different paths between the two team bases. Whatever you've built in your current city shows up here. To start making the game, let's first tap the settings button on top. This has all the standard settings of your playmap, and the movement stats for players divided into different teams. You can have up to 12 players, but it might be a bit crowded here, so let's take it down to 10. You can also set up to 6 teams. Capture Flag has only 2, but I'm gonna set it to 4. You've seen I had the blue and yellow team area in the map screen. But in the current version, each team has a hard-coded color. Team 2 is blue and Team 4 is yellow, so we'll use those two for the game. I'll also set up Team 1 as a dummy team to put players that haven't picked a side yet. We can also set if the camera rotates with the P-pose as a move, pick day or night settings and switch off the minimap. Next we set up the teams. The map I made is a bit small, so it makes the players a little bit slower just so they don't get around too fast. Let's say 80% of normal speed. I'm also reducing the jump size to 60%. As you see, this has many more options to play around with, but for this map that's all we need. These settings can be different for each team, but to keep it balanced for now I'm making it the same for all teams. I can skip Team 3 though, since we're not using that one. We also should turn off friendly fire so players in the same team don't attack each other. We can also choose between a melee and ranged attack. Let's keep it melee for now. For our dummy Team 1 we can switch off the attack altogether. Now let's just enter a name for the map and we're done here for now. Keep in mind that the city layout was frozen in time at the point when the playmap was first created. If you need to change any buildings, you can update this by tapping Import My City here, but it can cause problems if you've set up some rules already, and you cannot take it back, so be careful with this one. We can also change the map boundaries with the other button. Okay, let's use the save icon to save our changes just in case, and then start making the game. On top of the screen you can see we're in scene 1. By tapping next to it, you can make more scenes that all have different rules and objects for different phases of the game. We're gonna need two, one for picking teams and one where the actual match takes place. So first let's run a test to see what happens now, and that didn't work out so well. By default the game drops players just right in the middle of the map, which just happens to be a big rotating hammer in between those walls here. So we need to make sure the players start where we want them. On this panel to the right you can see we have many empty fields. Just tap one and we can choose to set up an area or prop in our map. Right now we need an area where we can tell the game to put the players. Let's just name it Start Area. So now that we have this icon, we can drag it onto the map. I'm gonna put it right between the two team areas, but it doesn't quite fit yet. At the bottom you can switch between move and resize. If you check maintain proportions, all the sides are resized at once, but when we uncheck it we can drag only the sides we want. Now back to move, put it right on the spot. You might want to wiggle the camera a bit to make sure it's just right. Careful not to place it in the wall and trap players. By default, areas drop to the lowest free space where they can be placed, but if you check lock access, you can use the green arrow to pull it up a little bit just to make sure. It's alright if people start in the air and fall down a little bit. Now to make players actually start here, we need to make a rule. We can make rules for the area by tapping on it and using the edit rules button. But the area actually has no way of knowing when a new player joins the map. For that we need this scene. In scene 1, we'll tap the wrench button. This is basically the same screen as before, but for the scene. On the left we have a list where we can add new rules to the scene. And on the right there's a list of parameters. Any numbers or texts we create in the scene are listed here. And if you tap variables on top, it shows any numbers that are made for the entire game. So let's try and make our first rule. Every rule first needs a condition. For scenes there's 3 categories: player, play scene and interface. We want to check when a player joins and put them into the starting area right away. So let's have a look at the player section. There's player joins the game, just what we need. Once we have a condition we can add sub-conditions and things that happen when the condition is met. By tapping the plus, that's a branch of the main condition. There are many more options here, but since we want to move the player we can narrow the search. There it is, move player to area. The parts in brackets are the parts where we have to make more choices. What kind of player do we want to put here? You might think, all players of course. But since our condition is player joins the game, then all players are moved back to this area whenever a new one joins. That's not quite what we want. So we have aforementioned player here, which may sound a bit mysterious. But this includes all things that are somehow related to the rule above. Right now, that is the very player who just joined the game. When we tap the area, the list is empty, so we have to create a new one. But we already made the start area, so why is this? What we're creating here is actually a kind of pointer for the scene to point at the actual area. So if we create a new run and name it start, it shows up in the list of parameters here, in a convenient place if we want to change it later. Tap that and we can now match it to our start area. So let's run another test. Yay, we're just where we wanted to be. And we can walk around here and we fall down again and can't get up. To prevent that from happening, we could just go back to our city and remodel it with a wall all around the area like this one side in the back. But it's nice to have a look over the arena from here, I think, so let's do something else. I'm making a new area and name it Blocked Area. You can name these anything you want, by the way, but it's good if you can see at a glance what it is for. Now let's drag it next to our platform and make it big to cover the entire side. We can make it slimmer to keep things tidy. Well, maybe not that thin. We want to block all 3 open sides, so we drag the same icon to the map again. Resize it too. Make sure it lines up with the side without any gaps where Mipos can fall through. And the last one. Sometimes it's easier to look at it from the top. So now we have all 3 sides covered. But nothing's preventing players from walking right through it. There's a rule for that too. This time we want to work with the area itself, so we edit the rules right here. This has an additional category called Prop, with conditions meant for props and areas. On entity spawn means this happens when the area is first created, which is right at the start of the scene, as we placed them on the map already. To that we add the action Restrict Access to Area. This means players can't walk through it anymore. No, aforementioned means this area that has been spawned. The rules are applied for all areas of the same type, so we only need to set it up once for all 3. Now we can go back into the game. And our Mipos stops in front of the invisible areas, just like we wanted. Next, we're gonna need a way for players to get sorted into 2 teams. There's many different ways to do that, but since we're getting used to using areas, let's make one where players can go to join the blue team and one for the yellow team, right where the colors are on the platform. Each time we want to apply different rules, we need to make new area types. So here's one to pick the yellow team, and one for the blue. Place them on the matching spots on the map and resize. In the rule list we have on player enter area. For player actions we can pick change player team. Once again, aforementioned got us covered, so we can deal with each player as they walk into the area. Since this is the area for the yellow team, we put players here on team 4, so they get the right color. We also want players to be able to tell who's on which team, so we add another action to the same condition by tapping the plus again. Once again on the player, they are set outfit to team uniform. Now the same for the blue area. On player enter area, change to team, except here we pick team 2 for blue. Let's save again since we made a lot of progress and then test what we just made. At first, everything looks the same as before, but then we walk over and we're blue. We also got an attack button now because we set team 2 and 4 to have a melee attack. So go over here and be yellow, and blue, and so on. Alright, let's cap it off here for this first video. And in the next part, we look at how to actually start the match for the teams to compete.